Oki.
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 Oki and welcome.
We acknowledge that we're gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains.
We pay respect to the Blackfoot people's past,
Present, and future.
We recognize the thousands of Indigenous peoples
From many diverse nations.
Call Lethbridge home.
Including members of the Blackfoot Confederacy,
Of the six gates of the beat.
Akana.
Siksika.
Amskapi people.
As well as other First Nations.
Métis, and Inuit peoples.
We respect Indigenous people's cultural heritage,
beliefs,
Truth
And relationship to the land.
that stretches back in time.
We will not blink at history.
We will not blink at history.
and we will learn from it.
Oki is an invitation.
A step forward.
in Blackfoot, Oki means hello.
Oki means hello.
Hello.
Oki.
Oki.
Oki. Oki, and welcome to the lands of the Blackfoot people.
That was our Oki video, which has a goal of increasing awareness, education, and conversation in the spirit of truth and reconciliation within the city and the community. It was created with our Indigenous partners and produced by local company Output Media. The official 2023 municipal census results show that Lethbridge has a population of 106,550 as of April 2023. This marks an increase of 5,068, up 4.99% or 1.25% per year from the 2019 municipal census. Lethbridge is the third largest city in Alberta based on municipal census data. Lethbridge consistently demonstrates a sustainable and healthy rate of growth. This stability, as well as steady growth and retention, allows the City of Lethbridge to plan effectively for the future of our community. Between City Council, City Administration, and all the hardworking departments in the corporation, there are some challenges in 2023 and here into 2024. There are also plenty of good news stories for the City of Lethbridge. We are past the halfway point of this term since myself and Councillors Mark Campbell, Jeff Carlson, Belinda Croson, Reiko Dodick, John Middleton Hope, Nick Palladino, Ryan Parker, and Jen Schmidt-Rempel took our oath of office and formed the current Lethbridge City Council. It's been a great honor and privilege for all of us to serve Lethbridge residents, and this is a great council. Council will continue to work with our local elected representatives, MP Rachel Thomas, MLAs Shannon Phillips and Nathan Newdorf, and other orders of government for the collective goal of creating a better Lethbridge and to advocate for the resources and funding our city needs to address key issues. We will push to further secure and advance our business sector's needs so we can be the first place investors and businesses come when they look to open new doors and new ventures. But we still have a lot of work to do. Here's a graphic outlining government roles and responsibilities. One of the biggest components at the municipal level is to advocate other orders of government for further supports in the city. At last fall's Alberta Municipalities event, and with several trips to Edmonton in 2023, both council members and administration are always striving towards collaboration and further intergovernmental work on a number of fronts. I'll be speaking this morning on items focused through these sections: top priorities and issues, city finances, major community and regional partners, some more good news, projects and event updates, and at the end, I'll remind everyone of the great ways to stay informed and provide some closing remarks. Council pledged an approach that clearly articulates priorities, creates further transparency, reports performance, and builds community trust. We aim to improve residents' quality of life, to meet the community's changing needs, to foster a prosperous local economy, and to grow in a responsible manner for years to come. In this section, I'll identify and discuss some of the top priorities and issues in Lethbridge, including Lethbridge and District Exhibition, water and wastewater, community safety, supporting the vulnerable population, as well as physician recruitment and retention. This is by no means a full or exhaustive list. The Big C, City of Lethbridge Corporation, is not the only exclusive municipality facing similar challenges, and the City of Lethbridge is not solely responsible on jurisdiction on some of these matters. There are issues happening in our community, however, so we do have the responsibility to do what we can within our roles and continue to advocate in areas of need to the other orders of government. Now the Lethbridge and District Exhibition. I'll begin with a very brief refresher and background on this topic, just in case anyone has been away for the last couple of months. Lethbridge and District Exhibition appeared before City Council in November asking for $6.7 million in emergency funding and the immediate takeover of the old pavilions, excluding the West Pavilion. The organization cited the impact of inflation, interest rates, supply chain issues, and other lingering COVID-19 impacts as causes of the budget shortfalls. Additional capital costs, as well as the expense of maintaining the old pavilions, has depleted the exhibition's reserve, which means they would be unable to move forward without additional financial support. The city owns the land that the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center is located on and contributed $25 million towards the construction of the facility, which began in March 2021, as well as $17.8 million loan. On December 18th, City Council approved some interim emergency resourcing to the Lethbridge District and Exhibition. This includes an emergency operating grant of $250,000 allocated immediately. The city also set aside up to $950,000 in contingency held under city control for verified emergent needs. This includes an independent third-party review of the Lethbridge and District Exhibition. This includes also allocating staffing resources that will help maintain business continuity at the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center. Currently, 2 staff members have been seconded to provide interim transitional leadership until at least January 23rd. A memorandum of understanding is to be developed between the city and the Lethbridge and District Exhibition based on the recommendations contained within the letter of intent, no later than January 19th, subject to the City Council approval at the January 23rd Council meeting. If the MOU is approved at that time, it will provide further clarity and guidance for next steps. The LDE board continues to have governing authority over the organization. This will not change until an MOU to change the governance structure is agreed upon by both the LDE and the City of Lethbridge. These transformations will ensure the clarity and information needed is available to inform good decision making. It will also provide transparency to the community regarding how public dollars are being spent. There's been a lot of conversation in the community about this. Members of the Chamber and other organizations in the city have been quite vocal about the involvement from Council and City administration. To be crystal clear on this matter, this is not a position we ever wanted to be in, but the reality is, this organization is in financial trouble and change is needed. This was going to cost the city a lot of money one way or the other. To further that comment, and again to be crystal clear, providing support to the Lethbridge District and Exhibition was not in Council or administration's work plan. I'm extremely proud of how City Council and administration have come together to take a leadership role in this change and work with the Lethbridge and District Exhibition to make that happen. We want to reassure the community and those who have invested in this facility that the Agri-Food Hub and Trade Center remains open for business. The City of Lethbridge and the Lethbridge and District Exhibition also have a long-standing relationship dating back to the early 1900s. As Councillor Belinda Croson could tell you, there have been several points in our history where the city has provided support to the exhibition. We have always found a way to work through it for the benefit of our community, and we will do that again. Next, on to water and wastewater. Water is not an infinite resource, and as the city's population continues to grow, the process to provide water and wastewater services to residents and business becomes a more pressing issue. Advocacy efforts for sustainable long-term water and wastewater infrastructure have been in conversation at last fall's Alberta Municipalities Conference in Edmonton, as well as several Standing Policy Committee and Lethbridge City Council meetings last year. I provided a letter of support on behalf of Council to the Town of Coaldale and to the Town of Taber for 2 Alberta Community Partnership grants. They are seeking funding for high-level servicing analysis of potable water and wastewater infrastructure along the Highway 3 corridor. There's a shared desire at the provincial and municipal levels to develop the corridor along Highway 3 between Lethbridge and Medicine Hat as a global hub for agri-food processing facilities. The City of Lethbridge is prepared to act as a technical lead on both applications regarding analysis of the Lethbridge region and existing regional customers. We are committed to regional collaboration and recognize that it is in the mutual interest of all communities to work together in the pursuit of regional economic development. it is fiscally responsible to invest in the maintenance and expansion of the existing municipal infrastructure to meet the growing needs of the communities and industries. Advocacy efforts are happening at multiple levels, including meaningful conversations between provincial ministries and council members at the Alberta Municipalities Conference. Lethbridge is a regional hub for water and wastewater treatment, providing these essential services to more than 133,000 southern Albertans in the city and surrounding region, including Lethbridge County, Colehurst, Coaldale, Diamond City, Monarch, Picture Butte, Iron Springs, Turin, and Chin, as well as commercial, industrial, and agri-food processing customers. Lethbridge's municipal water and wastewater treatment systems require substantial capital upgrades and expansion to meet anticipated near-term and long-term growth in regional and industrial demands, which would facilitate economic development in the city and region. It probably comes at no surprise that limited precipitation in 2023 has led to lower than typical water reserves across southern Alberta. We can assure residents there is no current danger of running out of drinkable water in Lethbridge. We do, however, recognize that the water levels are much lower than we would typically see. The Old Man Reservoir dropped from 58% in August to 26% in November, while the Waterton and St. Mary reservoirs are also significantly lower than normal levels for this time of year. While the recent snowfall has been positive in terms of much needed moisture, we're hoping to see a lot more of it in the coming weeks and months, along with significant rainfall in the spring. The city has created collaborative working groups with internal expertise and external stakeholders and are actively investigating additional avenues for water conservation for the immediate and long-term future. This work looks to include the regional partners the city provides water to. Our working groups are exploring all options, and residents can trust we will keep them informed about our proactive initiatives to manage low water reserves effectively. More detailed information will be discussed at the January 23rd meeting of Lethbridge City Council and the February 1st meeting of the Assets and Infrastructure Standing Policy Committee. All regional residents, businesses, and institutions are thanked for their ongoing voluntary water conservation efforts. After the request was made to the community in August, a 20% reduction in peak water consumption was observed. So again, thank you for all of those that helped with this. Now on to community safety. Lethbridge City Council and the City of Lethbridge staff care deeply about the wellness of our community. The annual Stats Canada Crime Severity Index, which always seems to draw most negative of headlines when it's released every year, is on the downward trend in Lethbridge, and it is in many parts of the country. The Lethbridge Census Metropolitan Area, CMA, was ranked number 3rd on the 2022 Statistics Canada Crime Severity Index. Winnipeg is now at number 1 with a CSI of 136.62, followed by Kelowna at 128.02. It's important to acknowledge that the CSI numbers have decreased. The CSI dropped from 8.1%, with Lethbridge overall crime decreasing by 5%. Lethbridge has a CSI of 118.97 in 2022 compared to 129.48 in 2021, 138.65 in 2020, and 141.67 in 2019. The Stats Canada data also uses the Lethbridge CMA, which includes several communities outside the city. For comparison, Red Deer does have a CMA, but their CSI was 30 points higher than the City of Lethbridge when you remove the surrounding communities. While not without some challenges, like those most municipalities across North America are facing, and of course there's always more that we can do. We most certainly have a beautiful and safe community here in Lethbridge. We need to remember that. I look at our police service and the work that they do. I want to make sure that I give a shout out to each and every one of them because it is not easy. We will always advocate for the resources we need, but Council does not direct the police service. This is the role of the Police Commission. The city has a role of ensuring a clean and safe community, facilitating partnerships and advocating the other orders of government for the services needed. Much work has been done from city administration and past city council to move this forward. Responding to a drug crisis is a very complex issue. The city is one partner in this response as we work to support the provincial government and agencies who provide the programs and services related to addictions and mental health in our community. We also had our latest Downtown Lawlessness Reduction Task Force meeting last week, and the next one is next week. They are open to the public, so we welcome your attendance. Next, I'd like to talk about supporting the vulnerable population. The City of Lethbridge, like many communities across the country, has been impacted by complex social issues, including a drug crisis and homelessness. This is something that is concerning to our entire community and has affected the health and safety of our residents. These challenges span many demographics, involve a multitude of social issues, and are managed across several government jurisdictions. With this growing concern impacting the quality of life in Lethbridge, the City of Lethbridge has expanded involvement in this area and taken action with more than 50 new initiatives over the last year that are helping move the community towards solutions. We are the first in Alberta to have a coordinated encampment strategy, which has had a major impact. We know that entrenched encampments lead to crime. City Council conditionally approved more than $1.85 million in funding for 2 affordable and social housing projects. These approvals are conditional to the securement of at least the same amount in provincial or federal funding to match a proposed municipal contribution. These projects could provide up to 80 new housing units in Lethbridge. We've worked on a shelter development strategy. In December, Alberta's government provided $1 million to fund up to 50 temporary winter shelter spaces in Lethbridge. Emergency shelters provide critical short-term accommodation and support for people experiencing homelessness. The shelter spaces will be run by the Blood Tribe Department of Health and be located in a trailer at Lethbridge's main shelter. Alberta's government provides more than $3 million in annual funding for the operation of 121 year-round shelter spaces in Lethbridge. With this new funding, those at risk of experiencing homelessness now have access to more than 170 emergency shelter spaces in the city. Shelter capacity is an urgent issue for our community, and we are grateful that we've been able to work with the Government of Alberta and the Blood Tribe Department of Health to create this additional space. With colder temperatures hitting last week, this will help protect the health and wellness of our most vulnerable residents, as we all work together to find more permanent solutions to our housing needs. The City of Lethbridge also continues to advocate and implement increased supports under the Community Wellbeing and Safety Strategy for those experiencing homelessness in our community. For more information on other initiatives Community Social Development is working on, please visit the city's website. I'd like to talk a little bit now about physician recruitment and retention. I just spoke last week with Dr. David Stewart from the South Zone, and he provided me with some updated numbers. In 2023, we were successful in recruiting 43 physicians to Lethbridge, 23 of whom are family physicians. Of those, 9 have not yet commenced practice in Lethbridge. We currently have 3 full-time OBGYN specialists, up from 1 a year ago, with 5 others who have now signed a contract and will be commencing in 2024 or 2025. We are headed to the University of Calgary and University of Alberta at the end of February to recruit medical students to come and do rotations down here and consider setting up practice when they complete their training. Current areas of priority continue to be family medicine, including hospitalist medicine, internal medicine and its subspecialties, emergency medicine and anesthesia. As a reminder, the municipal government does not have jurisdiction over healthcare in Alberta, and this work has not typically been done by us, but Lethbridge City Council continues to support efforts to attract and retain medical professionals for the community. A healthy and thriving community has to include a strong base of family doctors. Liaising with our partners and promoting Lethbridge is highly important. In Phase 1 of marketing, the City of Lethbridge joined together with the Chinook Primary Care Network, Alberta Health Services, and Economic Development Lethbridge for a campaign designed to sell physicians on the many different benefits of building a life and business in Lethbridge. We also continue to advocate for partnership and promotion of the virtual opioid dependency program with mental health and addictions, as well as the addition of a catheterization lab in Lethbridge, and for an academic teaching clinic. Here's a video created to help with recruitment efforts.
This is a story that started by a river, nestled in the prairies, at the foot of the mountains. In this place grew a city that from its beginning had an eye towards the future. Today, Lethbridge has grown into something better. A gateway to opportunity. A place that's learning, adapting. A place where athletes are forged and artists flourish. A place where
Oki means hello.
This is a story of a city built around balance between industry and community, arts and science, work and play. Lethbridge is far from the noise, but close to the action. This is a story of resilience. A city reconciling with its past to meet the challenge of the future. This is the story of a city by the river. One whose best chapters are not behind, but ahead. Come be a part of it.
Now move on to city finances. We've now arrived at everybody's favorite section, city finances. Lethbridge City Council met as Economic and Finance Standing Policy Committee for 3 days from November 14th to 16th of last year for an overview of the current economic conditions and the impact they have on city's financial position and resources. Mr. Darryl Matthews, CFO and Treasurer, highlighted the following topics: economic conditions, taxation pressures, utility pressures, operating and capital pressures, and impact on reserves. No one welcomes a tax increase, but with 0 increases from 2020 to 2022, plus inflation, this was the budget needed to maintain our service levels and address those resident concerns. In 2019, there was a 1.8% municipal tax rate increase, which was the lowest in 20 years. The City of Lethbridge then maintained a 0% increase to the municipal portion of residential taxes for 3 years from 2020, 2021, and 2022 to minimize the financial impacts of the pandemic to the property owners. The City of Lethbridge has received an update from the Government of Alberta in regard to its Local Government Fiscal Framework. That's the LGFF program, which replaces the Municipal Sustainability Initiative, MSI, starting in 2024. Under the LGFF capital program, the City of Lethbridge is estimated to receive capital funding of $12,323,689 in 2024 and $14,272,235 in 2025. Under the LGFF operating program, the City of Lethbridge is estimated to receive $1.303 million in 2024. Current projects approved under the City's 2022 to 2031 capital improvement program are fully funded up to the end of 2026. City administration was aware of the possible reduction in provincial funding. Therefore, the 2024 and 2025 projections for LGFF were estimated conservatively, and the current LGFF allocation will have no impact on these projects. In the future, starting approximately 2027, the city's capital budget will encounter pressures from capital investment. Therefore, projects will need to be prioritized. The City of Lethbridge continues to face budget pressures for capital investments in the community, and the city has created awareness at the provincial level of the need for additional capital grant funding. The City of Lethbridge continues to seek other grant opportunities and will maximize the use of all available grants for both capital and operating projects. City administration will continue to update City Council on the status of capital and operating funding, along with the status of the current and future capital improvement program. Now, property taxes and property assessment. Here's a detailed illustration breakdown of what the municipal portion of your tax bill paid in 2023. You'll again see the largest cent going towards vital emergency services, with police at 15 cents of your dollar and fire and emergency management services at 14 cents, with 15 cents going to community services. Individual properties may see a tax change on their bills for other reasons, such as change in property assessment, meaning the value of your home, business, or multifamily complex, an increase to the Green Acres Foundation budget, or to the Alberta school budget, and new construction or demolition. Property tax bills are specific to each property. Anyone with questions can contact 311 to get information specific to their assessment and tax bill. You can also visit lethbridge.ca/taxes to learn more about property taxes. You can also use the city's property information web map online at lethbridge.ca/propertyinfo to compare your assessment to the neighbors and other similar properties that have recently sold. You can also contact your assessment department with any concerns or for more details on your assessment. They would be happy to assist you and answer any of your inquiries. On to budgeting processes. In August 2021, the City Council approved the streamlining of all operating and capital budgets to achieve an aligned 4-year CIP and operating budget cycle. Only 4 years, 2022 to 2025, have previously been approved within the 2022 to 2031 CIP. This will allow a 4-year capital and operating budget to be aligned starting in 2026 for the 2027 to 2030 budget cycle. This will be a change from the previous practice where Council debates and approves a 4-year budget cycle every 2 years, alternating between the CIP and the operating budget. City Council stewards the budgets on behalf of the community, and this change will help Council provide greater budgetary oversight, better connect the capital and operating budgets, and help Council strategically focus on revenues and expenditures. This new process also gives councillors more opportunity to effect changes within the budgets over the course of the term. The 2024 operating budget is approximately $470 million, and the 2024 capital budget is approximately $64 million. This is included on page 11 of the 2023 to 2026 operating budget document. Now to section 3, major community and regional partners. This will be one of our shorter sections today, but it'll also be the one that is the most collective impact. All of these logos, and apologies if anyone was missed, represent some of the most important stakeholders from our community and region. City Council and City Administration look forward to working with all of these businesses moving forward. Now I'd like to touch base on the Brighter Together survey. Economic Development Lethbridge and the Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce have partnered on the Brighter Together survey of local businesses since 2019. This initiative probes local organizations to provide feedback about their current sentiments and overall business health in order to better understand local conditions and to communicate the results to key stakeholders. The findings from the survey help us anticipate and respond to current and future challenges in our area, and also help us to highlight and articulate our comparative advantages as a city. Thank you to Economic Development Lethbridge, who will be issuing a media release today that will highlight several points for this information. Optimism among local businesses and organizations remains high. At 2/3 of responders, 66%, expressed a favorable outlook for the next 6 to 12 months. The most pressing obstacles firms anticipate over the next year are related to costs, with rising costs of inputs, rising interest rates, and debt costs, and rising costs of labor, the top projected barriers for 2024. The top locational challenges to doing business were also centered around costs, with utility costs, the municipal tax environment, and the ease of permitting and regulatory procedures cited as the most pressing barriers in our area. I want to take a moment here just to clarify a few points and any misperceptions that might exist in the community. In Lethbridge, utility costs for water, sewer, garbage collection, and recycling are amongst the lowest in Alberta, while our commercial electricity rates are competitive with most other municipalities in the province. In Lethbridge, the municipal property tax per capita is in the middle of the pack amongst Alberta municipalities, slightly higher than Calgary and Red Deer, slightly lower than St. Albert and Edmonton. In Lethbridge, the average turnaround time for development permit approval is 6 days, which is the top 3 fastest moving Alberta municipalities. Many times, simpler applications such as a single detached home are approved the very same day. That said, our staff are always on the lookout for ways to make these processes become even more efficient. Back to the survey. Locational strengths were consistent with previous years, with quality of life selected again as a top attribute. Employers are most likely to maintain the status quo in regards to their workforce, with a rising proportion of respondents indicating their headcount will remain the same over the next 6 to 12 months. An increasing share of respondents indicate they're likely to focus on upskilling and staff training over the year ahead. There's also an elevated focus on improving company productivity, with 2/3 of businesses and organizations, 66%, highlighting this. Thank you to everyone who contributed to this. I want to express my appreciation for all that you and your staff do as ambassadors to promote Lethbridge as a great place for enterprise and a great community. Next, partnerships with the University of Lethbridge and the Lethbridge College. Our ability to produce world-class research and innovation between our 2 outstanding post-secondary institutions is phenomenal. I look forward to continuing to work together with the University of Lethbridge and the Lethbridge College to leverage the work that they do and bring focus to how they're changing the game of technology and innovation on the world stage. I'd like to welcome the University President, Dig Virgias, and College President, Brad Donaldson, to Lethbridge. The impact of the University in Lethbridge: about 70% of the students at the University of Lethbridge come from away. These students provide vibrancy to our city. University of Lethbridge makes an annual $2 billion provincial economic impact and a $784 million Lethbridge economic impact. More than 9,000 alumni in Lethbridge, 9,154 to be exact, 8.6% of the city's population based on the 2023 census date. Stronger partnership being built. The U of L has been partners for decades, working collaboratively on facilities. The Max Bell pool, the stadium, student residences, transit, the UPass, emergency response and economic development. Team Lethbridge, RINSA, Brighter Together. The city and the U of L are working on a possible MOU to better cooperate and collaborate and be more intentional and strategic in working together in the future. Mayor and councils have met with University President Dig Virgias and other senior administrators on several occasions about a proposed rural medical program at the U of L, delivered in partnership with the U of C. Such a program would make an incredible impact in increasing the number of physicians practicing in Lethbridge and in Southern Alberta. Mayor and council have played an active role in advocating for this program. University President Yas has been very public about his desire to have our community participate in their current strategic planning process. He said, "We will only be successful if this plan is truly collaborative and aligns with the needs and aspirations of the communities we serve." The city will be participating in the process, and I encourage all of you to do so as well. We'll talk a little bit about the Lethbridge College. Police Cadet Training continues to be a great partnership. The most recent class graduated September 15th with cadets from LPS, Tabor Police Service, and the Blood Tribe Police, walking the stage at Lethbridge College for presentation of their certificates and badges. Digital communications and media students participated in a crisis training scenario at the Courthouse, Fire Hall, and LPS headquarters on October 24th. The students gained experience covering breaking news and dealing with a crisis from a comms perspective. Lethbridge Police Service has partnered with Lethbridge College's Centre for Public Safety Applied Research on topics such as ethical decision making. The college placed 11th in the 2023 ranking of Canada's top 50 research colleges and has been recognized as one of the fastest growing research colleges in Canada. This summer, for the first time, Lethbridge College and the University of Lethbridge joined forces for a Whoop Up Days breakfast in downtown. It was a hugely popular event. The city and college are also working on a celebration of alumni who work for the city of Lethbridge. There are also some work-integrated learning projects in development. Some more good news. City Manager Lloyd Brierley recently presented an item to Council called Celebrating Successes. As we've passed the mid-cycle for this Council term, I want to take the opportunity to reflect on the first 2 years and to highlight some of the successes that have been achieved. It's okay to talk about some of the good news. Community conversations. A year ago to the day, the City of Lethbridge hosted its first in-person community engagement event since 2019. Held at the NMAX Center, it featured more than 35 projects to explore, get informed, give feedback, and connect with the city staff and partners. Some of the major topics include the Land Use Bylaw, the Renewal Project, Waste and Environment, LPS, Rec and Culture, and Community Social Development. Other events highlighted included free public skating, kids' activities with the Helen Schuler Nature Center, and Lethbridge Public Library, swag giveaways, and prize draws. Community conversations are a way to bring together all the city projects requiring community engagement in one convenient location, making it easier for residents to participate. Public participation helps build a strong and connected community, informs council decision-making, and helps improve the city we all call home. We've had more than 650 people at that event. We hosted a second community conversation on October 23rd with more than 40 projects. The snow that day led to a slightly lower attendance, but the feedback was very well received. Plans are underway for the next one in 2024, so stay tuned for more information. Here's a video compiled from the October event. Signing of the Buffalo Treaty. During a ceremony at the University of Lethbridge last March, 5 members of the Lethbridge City Council added the City of Lethbridge as a signatory supporting the Buffalo Treaty, thus making Lethbridge the first municipality to do so. The City of Lethbridge previously signed a memoranda of respect and understanding with Kainai Blood Tribe. Its purpose is to establish stronger communications, planning, and opportunities for joint advocacy between the city and the Kainai Blood Tribe to advance issues of common interest and resolve issues of common concern. Let's chat a little bit about the City of Lethbridge website. The City of Lethbridge was excited to launch a fresh new Lethbridge.ca website focused on the needs of residents, using industry best practices and past web analytics, the city's website content has been streamlined, navigation made more intuitive, search functions enhanced, and a clean new design incorporated. I'd welcome you to have a look. More public water drinking stations. The pilot project of 4 drinking water stations are a result of initiative from City Councillor Nick Palladino during 2023 to 2026 operating budget deliberations in November 2022. Access to drinking water is important to the general population, but also it perhaps is most important to the vulnerable population in our community. Fee Assistance Program. Our revised Fee Assistance Program was launched with the aim to support residents facing financial barriers to both recreation and culture activities, as well as bus passes. In August, the program would expand again, incorporating the existing refugee bus pass program and access-a-ride options. In August, several technological upgrades took place in council chambers, including new audio tabletop units with new microphones for better audio clarity on live streams, 4 new cameras, and new electronic nameplates that be quickly changed for different users and meeting types. Funding for TV and film. We all recognize the high-level bridge here, and if you haven't seen the HBO hit show The Last of Us, this CGI image was featured in an episode. When the Hollywood LA next comes beckoning to our LA, the City of Lethbridge will be better positioned to help shout lights, camera, and action. New pickleball courts and community play boxes. In September, we were excited to officially open 6 more pickleball courts located north of the original 6 pickleball courts at Legacy Park. The new courts include plexi-pave coating and windscreens. There's an asphalt walkway on the west side of the courts, providing barrier-free access for users with mobility devices to enter the courts. The scope of the project was amended in May 2023 to remove the previous CIP recommendation of adding windscreens and alternative surfacing to the existing courts, a viewing area and benches. The amendment occurred with consultation from City Administration and the Lethbridge Pickleball Club to maintain the project and keep it economically feasible. Our Parks and Cemeteries team was thrilled to introduce community play boxes back in September. These boxes are filled with sport and play equipment for anyone in the community to use at no cost. There are currently 2 boxes located at Legacy Park near the pickleball courts and Nicholas Sharon Park near the west parking lot. The intent of the play box is to inspire community members to take part in more outdoor activities while removing the barrier of having to purchase equipment. The boxes will be accessible year-round with items updated for the season. New Oki signs at schools. The City Indigenous Relations Office has funded and provided materials for each school in the Lethbridge School Division and the Holy Spirit Catholic School Division to create an Oki sign in their existing fencing. The project stems from an approved Indigenous placemaking strategy, which was approved by City Council in 2021. Applications are now open once again for the City of Lethbridge's Clean Energy Improvement Program, which will provide homeowners with a financial tool to support energy-efficient and renewable energy upgrades to their properties. Launched in late February 2023, CEIP applications reached initial capacity within a week. There were 40 applications accepted and another 47 homeowners on the wait list. Council later removed the previous annual cap amounts, allowing for the expedited service delivery of the CEIP and therefore providing more homeowners timely access to funding. Lethbridge residents and motorists may recall a traffic incident last June that resulted in Whoop Up Drive coming to a standstill for several hours. It's okay for us to admit this was not handled in the best manner, but we learned from it. An incident debrief was held in July 2023 with all internal stakeholders, including transportation, the Lethbridge Police Service, fire and emergency services, communications, and engagement and emergency planning and risk management. The debrief identified opportunities to clarify decision-making authority, improve interdepartmental and public communications, improve interdepartmental collaboration to improve speed of decision-making and implementation of the protocol, and enable faster activation of this protocol when it is needed, regardless of whether an incident occurs within or outside of normal business hours. Thanks to a resolution by Councillors John Middleton Hope and Jeff Carlson, the Lethbridge Animal Shelter will soon be adding a fenced dog run on its property to provide new opportunities for exercising, training, and socializing dogs available for adoption. Council approved up to $30,000 in one-time funding from council contingencies for administration to move forward with the new on-site amenity, which will be nearly 1,100 square meters. Next, the Mayor's Community Barbecue. Thanks to the group of sponsors, 1,300 people outside Lethbridge City Hall on 4th Avenue were fed a free lunch after the Whoop Up Days parade. Musician Trevor Panzak and his band entertained the crowd with a full concert set on the steps of City Hall during the event. Premier Daniel Smith and several MLAs also attended. Project and event updates. I'm going to use this next section to go over a few updates on several ongoing projects and events. Snow control changes. We held off snow for quite some time this season, and now it is here, and some new snow control changes are coming into effect. Each winter, City of Lethbridge Transportation Operations staff provide winter snow and ice control services to keep Lethbridge safely on the move. In response to public feedback and City Council approval, the City has adjusted snow clearing practices. Intergovernmental Health Table. A one-of-a-kind partnership and ongoing collaboration between key stakeholders was announced in November 2022 to try and tackle the health and social challenges of the city and surrounding areas. The creation of the Intergovernmental Health Table is a proactive step in bringing together invested partners to look at key issues affecting members of the Blood Tribe and Lethbridge communities. We meet on a regular basis to review matters of relevant importance to each community with a solid understanding of respect, inclusion, and collaboration. EMS dispatch. It's been nearly 3 years since the transition of emergency medical services dispatch from municipalities of Calgary, Lethbridge, Red Deer, and the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo. For the health and safety of all Albertans, the mayors of these 4 regions continue to advocate to the provincial government and Alberta Health Services to return local dispatch for a stable and integrated service. Wood Buffalo recently showed it is possible for this to change, so we will continue to advocate. Downtown. As of October 2023, the BRZ told me there was 23 businesses that either opened or expanded operations during 2023 in downtown Lethbridge. This is great news. We do, of course, know the construction project last summer was difficult on some, so thank you again to the businesses on 7th Street and 4th Avenue, as well as their customers and all those impacted downtown for their patience throughout the disruptions caused by this important infrastructure and construction period. Festival Square. We talked a lot last year about the formation of Festival Square downtown. In 2023, Festival Square saw 73 events being held in that space. Speed zone harmonization and residential speed limits pilot. Increased safety and creating one standard speed for speed reduction zones are the primary reasons cited for the implementation of harmonized school and playground zones. Full implementation started in September 2023 to coincide with the start of 2023-2024 school year. The new 30-kilometer zones combining existing school zones to playground zones to create one zone will be effective 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day of the year. This will make Lethbridge consistent with municipalities in Alberta with existing harmonized school and playground zones, including Calgary, Medicine Hat, Red Deer, Edmonton, and Coaldale. We introduced a pilot project to lower speed limits to 40 kilometers an hour in Paradise Canyon, the Canyons, Uplands, Black Wolf, and the southern portions of Southgate. The safety of Lethbridge residents is the city's top priority. The Transportation Safety Plan recommends reducing residential speed zones to work towards the goal of zero transportation-related deaths and serious injury by 2040. The residential speed limit pilot project will be a multi-year project, and data on the pilot areas will be collected throughout the project timeline. And there will be multiple opportunities to give feedback throughout the project. Organics. Last May, we unveiled the Organics Processing Facility. The award-winning facility, located at the city's Waste and Recycling Centre, will receive and process all green cart materials collected from both the residential and commercial programs. The opening of the Organics Processing Facility is a step forward in positioning our city to be more sustainable. It'll help us reach our target of diverting 65% of the residential waste from the landfill by 2030. Most importantly, it creates environmental benefits for Lethbridge now and into the future. Here's one entry from the video series our team created to help with the curbside organics rollout.
Hey Lethbridge, I'm your new green cart, and I'm so excited to start eating up all your household organics and yard waste. Now that we're going to be living together, I thought I'd share a few things about myself. I enjoy long rolls along the path to my pickup spot, cozy nights at home binging on the latest viral TikTok dinner that went wrong, and my favorite color is green, naturally. Or should I say organically? You can learn more about me, my little friend the kitchen pail, and the new Curbside Organics program at curbside.lethbridge.ca.
Lethbridge Airport and Lethbridge Transit. The City of Lethbridge continues to prepare the Lethbridge Airport for potential expansion opportunities. This includes ongoing conversations with Flair Airlines on future routes. Flair had originally partnered with the city to propose a Lethbridge to Tucson, Arizona route, which unfortunately did not happen in 2023 as previously planned. We invested significantly in our airport, leveraging grant funding to get us to a place where we can accommodate increased passenger traffic and potential transborder international flights. We are in really good position to continue conversations with Flair and other carriers around future new route possibilities at the Lethbridge Airport. Administration is to draft a bylaw to move forward with creating a Transit Citizen and Customer Advisory Committee for review at a Governance Standing Policy Committee by Q4 of 2024. Municipal Historic Resources. Lethbridge was incorporated as a town in 1890 and as a city in 1906, which for a municipality is relatively young by comparison to many other areas in the world. Despite our overall youth as a city, we do have an array of historic places. Those protected by the City of Lethbridge are called Municipal Historic Resources. Those preservation efforts, we currently have 29 municipal historic resources, with 13 of them located in downtown Lethbridge. I'd like to share with you the Heritage Minute video. Thanks to Councillor Belinda Croson and our comms team for producing these. I understand there are a lot more of this to come later this year.
So behind me is the Federal Building, later named the J.G. Higginbotham Building, best known of course to everybody in Lethbridge as the Post Office. They've renamed it the Post now, but I think most people will continue to call it the Post Office. Built between 1912 and 1913, Post Office moved in November of 1914 and has been there ever since. Probably the best known piece of the building is the clock tower. When the clock went in, they originally put the handles up, but they didn't have the glass on yet, and one of the hands of the clock actually fell off and almost hit somebody on 4th Avenue South, which is when they waited to be able to put the hands back up when the glass came in. When the tower was originally put up, there was actually a bell connected to the clock. That stopped in the late 1920s when they built the Marquis Hotel across the street, because the one thing the residents didn't like was the clock going off in the middle of the night.
Since March 11th, 2019, the friendly folks of Lethbridge 311 have been helping answer residents' questions about city services. Residents rely on 311 to get answers, and now contacting them is easier than ever. Last fall, we launched 311 Chat, a live online chat available on lethbridge.ca and 311.lethbridge.ca as a new, convenient way for residents to get answers to their questions about city services. For those unaware, through the Lethbridge Loop app, we also have a way for city residents to receive City of Lethbridge service reminders. Residents can download the free smartphone app to receive waste and recycling reminders, as well as notifications for planned power outages, street sweeping, and water main work. Lethbridge Loop allows the city to send notifications directly to residents so they can be in the loop about scheduled services that affect their homes and daily lives. We have reached the final section today. I produce a mayor's monthly column for the city's website and the Lethbridge Herald that highlights the great things happening in our community. Please use our city website, which includes the news subscription and new dynamic web map closures page. The modern and streamlined site was trimmed from more than 2,000 pages to just over 300 and is focused on ease of use for residents. Since launching on April 25th, 2023, I've had more than 1.4 million page views from 375,000 visitors. Here are some 2023 highlights from the city's official social media pages. YouTube had 95,900 video views, more than double the 42,917 in 2022. Total viewing hours were nearly 7,000. Facebook reached 552,605 people, up from 466,055 in 2022. The site ends 2023 with more than 21,000 followers. Instagram reached 141,089 people and added almost 1,000 new followers of the nearly 14,000 total followers. X, formerly Twitter, had 1,240 posts and 2,200,000 impressions. I want to show one more video. It's about the love of Lethbridge.
Lethbridge is a place unlike any other. It's not that we think we're better than other places, but we can't help but be proud of the things that make us special. Not the coulees, iconic span, the wind-carved landscape, or world-renowned flora, but the people. Like you, like her, like them. Our friends, our neighbors, our family. We're proud to work for them. We'd love to work with you for the love of Lethbridge.
We live in an era where information and disinformation are available in an instant. It's more important than ever to engage in your community and keep up to date on reliable information. I hope I was able to provide some valuable information here in the 2024 State of the City Address. Thank you again for each and every one of you for watching. And as always, please be safe and kind to one another.